What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Humble Lecter, and today finally we got here the Gamerverse Spider-Man 2 figure, which I'm actually a little bit excited but also very disappointed with the scumbag Hasbro, because when they first announced it in the live shows, I know it went for about 35 bucks, 35 pounds. But here in Malaysia, when I did try to pre-order this, they were trying to sell this at 25 bucks. So definitely I wanted to like just get my hands as many as I can, hopefully, you know, in the aftermarket or whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, I didn't get that. But then after like months and months of waiting, this figure actually went back to its original price from 24 bucks to the 35 bucks. So that is 10 bucks. So that's like 50 ringgit, 60 ringgit more than what was actually done. And you know, that was just very scumbag of Hasbro. I know Hasbro Pulse is coming to Malaysia, Singapore, and all these other places. They're trying to dominate and of course try to take over from all these local sellers, but that is not the way to go. I mean, if you already promise the local sellers that it's a price, you should have just honored it and go for it. Because I think for 124 bucks, this is an excellent figure. For 35 bucks, that is where you are going to face a lot of criticisms. Yes, I did pre-order this. I kind of got some discounts on it. I usually get my toys from One Toy or My Toy Malaysia, but yeah, you can get this if you are here. But if you're not, I mean, you're going to pay full price for this. I think that is where the whole trouble of this whole figure would come. So yes, without further ado, let's just get right into this figure. Okay, so before we just go on to that, let's go on to the packaging. So we had the product image on the front and also on the side and also on the back here with some accessories, which is the main thing that people are getting really upset with Hasbro, because the accessories are abysmal. Of course, we have the product image on the side here with the full PS5 image, and we have the logo on the top. So now let's just unbox this bad boy up. We have the Gamerverse Spider-Man 2 figure, and I gotta say, I mean, it looks alright, to be honest. I mean, maybe it's the fact that, you know, I am paying full price for this, so I don't really have much hype on this. We have seen this body. This is the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man body. So it is sort of the latest ones that we've gotten with a lot of articulation. It does have the toe articulation, which is pretty exclusive to the Renew Your Vows body mold. But looking at this figure, I think the main problem you're going to find here are the accessories. So in terms of the hands, we have the closed-fisted hands, as you would. And we only have one wall crawling hands and one of the twip hands, which is very weird, because if you ordered the Renew Your Vows, you have gotten a full set of hands, all three pairs, all of them. They could have just easily given us with the Gamerverse Spider-Man. But we do have all this other web stuff. We have this one where you can put on your villains or your enemies or whatever. We have the web splash, which we have seen with the cel-shaded animated Spider-Man. We also have this one which you can put on the hands or on the face or whatsoever, you know, kind of to like web him up, which is, this one's here pretty cool. And also lastly, yes, we have the web line as well. He doesn't have like a grabbing hand like the Amazing Fantasy, so you kind of have to like just put it over his hand to give you that web effect. So yeah, just looking at this figure here, I do like the lenses on him. I think that one is the best thing that Hasbro has done in this department, that the lenses here, I feel a little bit more accurate to the game. But other than that, I think the suit color isn't the best. I think it could have been a little bit more blue. Like if you see on the packet here, it does give you a little bit more darker blue, but here it's, you know, very light, very faded, not very nice, and there isn't a lot of sculpting to this. It's all just paint work here. You can see on the body, I do like this resemblance here, which we will compare next to the first Gamerverse Spider-Man. And yeah, I do like the web pattern, web lines on his body, all around here to his hands as well. And if you look at the chest, the white web lines does follow through pretty decently, I would say. If you crunch backwards, you can see there's a huge gap here with the joint inside, so it doesn't really follow through. If you switch it on to the back as well, same problem as well. So again, very annoying and disappointing, and just like it doesn't feel like a $35 figure, if you get what I mean. And of course, going on to the border, we have the muscles here, as we have seen before. We have the calves, rotation, and also going on to the boots. So funny, interestingly, on the back here, on the bottom, it's not fully painted, and you can see some of the paint smudges all around, so it's not really fully painted properly. And we see on the top here as well, it's pretty decent. We have the shoes here, which doesn't really look like shoes, but it kind of follows through the paint here. Again, you get some paint smudges on his ankles, doesn't follow through at the joints, which again is really annoying. And I think the best thing about this is just the head sculpt. I think it feels really good. And now we're going to go on to articulation. So articulation wise, this isn't the best because it uses a dumbbell joint, which is so annoying. I think they could have just given us this hinge would give us more articulation. So you gotta like just cut the back here if you guys want to go back in terms of the head movement, because it can only go up this much here. Very, very limited for a Spider-Man figure, and going down as well, very, very limited. So I'm just gonna put this aside, have a little bit more clearer view. And you can do your head rotation, you can also do the head tilting as well. And going on to the arms, you would be able to get a nice T-pose with him with a little bit more extra, I would assume, which isn't too bad. Of course, you can rotate it as much as you want. Mine is a little bit gummy right now, and you do have your butterfly joints, which you can kind of shift back and forth. So it goes front this much, it goes back not a lot, I would say. Going on to the arms, you have your bicep swivel, you have your double jointed pinless elbows, which again, mine is very, very gummy, so hope I don't break my figure here. So it goes back this much, which isn't too bad. And of course, going on to the hands, you do have some nice wrist rotation and hinge up and down. Going on to the torso here, this is where it crunches forward, so you can crunch forward for the first one this much, crunch downwards this much here. If we have the second hinge, you can crunch backwards to here, so it will give you really amazing posing. And then you can crunch forward this much here. Alright, and going on to the legs, you have a drop down hip here, more apparent on this fit side. And you can spread out here this much. Upper thigh, you do have your pinless double jointed knees, which does go back a fair bit. Okay, it's able to touch its own leg at the calves, and you do have your calf rotation. And also nice ankle pivot with the toe joints as well. It's like if you see on his left bicep, there's a bit of a gap here. It's not loose in the sense like one of my Amazing Spider-Mans, the 3-pack one with the Amazing Friends, did come off easily. This one is not so much, but there is a gap on the left and right here, which again is just a reflection of how Hasbro has been in terms of giving us these half-baked figures here, charging us excellent prices here, because you know, they're just doing Hasbro stuff. They know we like Spider-Man, so they're gonna do this. So yeah, I mean, this is something to do with their QC. And of course, measuring on this figure, it does stand in at about the 6.5-inch mark. And here he is. As we can see, he is using the Renew Your Vows body mold, and it does give about the same height, same body type, and the size on it. And also it does follow the suit design from the first movie, so we can see from both of them here, the differences is the webline patterns are very, very different. You can see that there's a blue thing that goes through here, and also on the belt as well, you can see it's a little bit different compared to this. This one is more classic in terms of the belt. And going on to the sides, nothing much. You get your pin and pinless arms. We have the white line here, and also on the hands a little bit different. You can see a little bit more artwork on the older one, which is very, very surprising. Actually, not very surprising to be honest. And on the back here, the design is pretty much the same. Going on to the boots as well, again, very, very similar in terms of the design. So this is where we're going to get it, and this is how they compare. And if we compare this to the actual Renew Your Vows, you can see very, very similar design, and also it's just basically a whole repaint of this figure here. There are more Spider-Man to be added here. I mean, I can't fit everybody in. We have the retro classic Spider-Man with the pizza spider head. We have the ref Spider-Man using the pizza Spider-Man body mold. We also have one of my favorite body molds to use here, which is the Amazing Spider-Man from the Amazing Friends 3-pack, and that uses the Amazing Fantasy body mold, which I absolutely do love because they do have the disc joint in the neck, so it's definitely better when it comes to articulation. We have one of my low-key favorite Spider-Man figures as well, because this one here does give a lot of articulation, especially with the latest symbiote Spider-Man as well. And all these Spider-Mans, I gotta say, I mean, they are in their own right really, really nice. Here he is next to some iconic villains. So I do have the Kraven, and I do have the latest retro Kraven as well, so stay tuned to this channel. And we also have the SDCC Sandman here. So that is it with this Spider-Man figure, and for a rating, I am going to give this a solid 6 out of 10. I mean, it is nice. I mean, especially for me who like the PS4 game, I'm definitely going to pick this up, going to put it into my shelf. It does have the latest Spider-Man Renew Your Vows body mold, so it is pretty decent, but again, for the price point and for the amount of accessories that comes with this, no more extra right wall crawling hands and all that stuff. I mean, it is very, very disappointing, and to be honest, I do prefer the Amazing Fantasy body mold ahead of this. So let me know in the comments down below, because these are just all my thoughts and my opinions, and leave it down below in the comment section down below. So yes, if you guys enjoyed this video, do click the like and smash the subscribe button down below for more videos like this in the future, and I will catch you in the next one.